everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to review the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 3. Now, I'm still dealing with the quarantining, dealing with the Rona, but I'm feeling better and better and stronger every day. But, you know I was going to make a video about this, about the Book of Boba Fett. Now, I have been thoroughly enjoying this show. It's not the highest show that I've been enjoying on Disney Plus. In fact, if I was ranking it, it'd probably be on the back end, maybe. But this show has been, to me, through and through, from episode 1 and 2, there are some moments that are some 10 out of 10s. There are some action beats that are 10 out of 10s. Visually. But I haven't quite been completely and utterly grabbed by the story. I'm interested. I'm having a great time. I'm loving some of the performances. But in this episode also, it's just in line with last week's episodes. But this episode, like most people kind of probably thought it was going, the flashback sequences seem like they're coming to pretty much coming to an end. Because this week, kind of how I predicted. I think I probably did predict this, and someone comment below if you remember if I did or not. I think I predicted that these flashbacks would have to come to an end pretty soon, just because we know that eventually Boba is traveling by himself, that eventually he's not with the tribe, he didn't mention the tribe, and that he wouldn't have left and went to go find his armor and went back to, and went to go take over Jabba's empire if things were still good with that Tuscan Tribe. Because why would he? He was in a place where he, was respected, and it seemed like he was cool doing this. And I knew that meant the tribe had to die. So one way or another, the tribe had to die. And that's what happened. The fucking bite gang that he fucked with, apparently they came back with some more people, and they completely destroyed the tribe. Of course, it's kind of hint, nudge, that the Pikes knew about this, and that the Pikes are sort of responsible for this as well. That the Pikes and that biker gang kind of teamed up to go kick those Tuskans in the face, and they waited for Boba not to be there to do it. Which also ends up saying that the flashbacks, at least, there was a reason that they were doing this, showing that now we know that Boba Fett and the Pikes have history. There's going to be a history to come to. There's going to be something more personal there. There's going to be something there. They killed a family that he found. They killed his found family. So there's definitely going to be more, using the flashbacks to make this story more personal. But most of the episode takes place during the day. Now, the episode's about 38 minutes, which basically means it's about 29 minutes, which basically means it's about 30, 20, 29, 30 minutes, because you got 7 minutes of credits, all the artists and whatnot. So it's about I'll be generous and say 5-6 minutes of credits. So it's about 30, 31 minutes. And I'd say that 10 minutes, about 7 minutes is dedicated to the flashback, and the rest of the episode is dedicated to the problems he's dealing with in the now. Which, one of the big problems is, one of the first issues that comes to his attention is the fact that we get told that basically the entire city has been broken up amongst 3 different, races. Apparently when Jabba died, 3 different gangs and / races took over the city, and Bib Fortuna only took Jabba's place to basically keep the peace while lining his own pockets. So the power structure completely changed in the absence of Jabba. And now that Boba has taken over, all of those people who Bib Fortuna was working with, and all these people whose palms he was greasing, they don't know how to handle Boba. And all of them basically all of them have just chose to handle him by not handling him, by just disrespecting him. Not paying tribute to him, not even doing anything at all. So we get explained that, so we now know that the city is broken up into 3 territories, and we get this guy who's I think he's a moisture farmer. I know they call him that, like they're water farmers basically. You know, in a desert. Oh, and when you see a desert planet, you know there are people who make a living selling water. Makes sense. And this dude says that he's been having a hard time. This gang is stealing water from him. And, he says, hey, look, Boba, you take care of this. Basically, he's saying, look, you take care of this, I'll start treating you with respect. People will start respecting you a little bit more around here. Basically what he tells Boba. Boba goes and handles that, but once Boba gets there, he realizes that these are a bunch of biker punks. Bunch of biker kids. It's almost there's something real cyberpunky about these kids. They all have implants, let me think. Mechanical replacements, a mechanical arm, a mechanical eye. They all have mechanical leg. They all have mechanical replacements. There's something really cyberpunkish about these kids. Honestly, someone brought this up. These kids and their bikes, it looks like something out of Alita Battle Angel. It does. The moment you see it, you're just like, that kind of looks like something out of Alita Battle Angel. No mystery who directed this episode, as not only does these kids look, these youngsters who Boba ends up taking under his wing. He asks them, like, why are you stealing water? And they basically tell him they're stealing water because this asshole is legitimately hoarding all the water. And they're like, well, why aren't you working? Because there is no work, because no one's giving us work. So it's literally like, you're not giving us, like, they're basically like, we're doing what we fucking have to survive. This dude's hoarding up all the water. There ain't no one's giving us jobs, so we can't even make money to spend on water. So we gotta do what we gotta do. And Boba, I don't know, I pretty much seeing something in them, decides to take them on. And you could kind of see where the show is going, by the way. Like, Boba's, his gang is slowly growing. It's gone from a 2-man gang to a 4-man gang. So now, it's gone from a 2-man gang, sorry, unless you count the droid, if you want to do that. But if we're not counting the droid, it's gone from a 2-man gang to a 4-man gang to a, how many of those bikers were there? I think it was like, was it 4 or 5 of them? It's either 4 or 5 of them. So it's like, it's either, a 9-man gang? Yeah. So now he's got even more people a part of his group. And a sequence that happens later near the end, he might even get that badass black-furred Wookie to join his group. And I feel like he is. Hell, he even has a, hold on. I keep getting Rancors and Sarlaccs confused. It's a Rancor, right? I'm sorry, my Star Wars aliens just get kind of confusing. I think it's a Rancor. I'm gonna say Rancor. He's even got a fucking Rancor now. He is definitely gonna be riding. By the end of this show, Boba Fett will be riding a fucking Rancor. Like, it's gonna be happening. He will be riding. Yeah, that giant thing that Luke had to fight in Jabba's palace, that fucking killing machine, yeah, he's gonna be riding that damn thing by the end of this. I'm telling you now. So, you can see how his group is gonna slowly grow and get bigger, and he's gonna collect people who are like-minded individuals who will be cool, who will be down for what he's selling. But either way, he wakes up out of that tank, and I'm not gonna lie, it is scary, and it caught me completely off guard. That big-ass, badass, armored Wookiee that you saw in episode 2, he shows up. Somehow his big, fairy ass snuck into his palace, got into his chambers, popped the fucking lid on that pod he was in, yanked his ass out, and started unloading a can of whoop ass on Boba. Now, granted, Boba was unarmored, unprepared, just out of this baptism tank. He's like, what the fuck? He's fighting, but there ain't nothing he could do. Thankfully, he recruited those kids, and they immediately paid dividends. Now, granted, this is a fucking Wookiee we're talking about. I mean, normal Wookiees are hard to handle, and this is a big-ass, badass Wookiee, and he was handling it. Like, they couldn't really take him down. They had to end up tricking him and dropping him in a hole. And I love how the twins just show up, and they're just like, so, sorry for trying to kill you. I was like, what? I mean, that is some gangster shit. I've seen that in gangster films. Some other gangster put a hit out on you, it fails, and then some other bigger gangster than you guys basically goes, hey, y'all need to squash this shit because it's not good for business. And then the next thing you know, you two people, he put a hit out on you. And I've seen it in shows and movies. This dude put a hit out on you, and you guys are sitting at a table and agreeing to just be like, it's fine. It's like, no! But yeah, they give a Rancor, and of course, I don't know why I didn't think about it. Of course Danny Trejo is in this as a Rancor trainer. Of course Danny Trejo is in this. You got Robert Rodriguez. Danny Trejo ain't that far behind. You got fucking, shit, you got James Gunn. You know Michael Rooker ain't far behind. You got Ryan Coogler. Michael B. Jordan ain't far behind. You know what I mean? Like, there are actors who get hired in, like, a certain guy's products, like, all the time. And Danny Trejo has just been in almost every single one of fucking, every single one of almost every single one of Rodriguez's projects. Robert Rodriguez's projects. Like, he's been in almost every single one of Robert Rodriguez's projects. So, we got Danny Trejo in Star Wars canon. Yes, there's gonna be Danny Trejo toys in Star Wars. There's gonna be comics with Danny Trejo as a Star Wars character. What a world to live in, right? What a world to live in, man. Like, I thought it was fucking, like it's just funny, you know? It's like I said, it's just a funny thing to think about. But yeah, dude, like, when I saw Danny Trejo, I was like, dude, yeah. Yeah. Okay, yep, I knew that. Should've saw that one coming. But yeah, man, like, I'm having fun with this show. It's not the space adventure. I think that's what, like I said, I think that's what's throwing people off about this show. It's not The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is like this space adventure. Like this, like, old school Johnny, almost, this is gonna be an old shout out to people if you actually know this, Johnny Quest. Like it's like this old school Johnny Quest space adventure. Well, no, does Johnny Quest? I think Johnny Quest takes place in the sea. It's been a long time since I've seen Johnny Quest. But it's this old school space adventure. Something really akin, honestly, it's akin to the OG trilogy, to the original trilogy, in the kind of like the optimistic tone and the fun tone and like the adventurous tone that is taken. Now it's got an edge to it with you know, and Mandalorian does have an edge to it. But while Book of Boba Fett is even more silly and more jokey and more, it's Book of Boba Fett actually feels like it was made, and some people have kind of pointed this out, by George Lucas. Like, if that makes any sense to you. Like, Mandalorian harkens back to the OG trilogy. Book of Boba Fett, which is maybe why some people don't like it, kinda, in a lot of its roots, in terms of its comedy and its tone and certain aspects, there's a lot of prequel in it. And it's a lot of prequel in it. Like, there's a lot of prequel in the tone and a lot of the ways they go about doing things, the color palette. There's a lot of prequel in this show, which might be one of the things that might be throwing people off, which is why I think people love The Mandalorian so much, because The Mandalorian took so much from the OG trilogy. But Book of Boba Fett, a lot of people thought maybe either A, it would be just like The Mandalorian, or B, it'd be this darker take. It'd be like, it'd be more akin to Rogue One. Something like that. You know, because that was the original pitch, and that's what many people thought they were going to go with. But but when they brought on Robert Rodriguez, and Robert Rodriguez is sort of a goofy dude anyways with some of his stuff. I love some of his stuff. Like, you know, I like some of his films. I had fun with the Machetes. I had fun with me as a child, I thought Spy Kids 1 and 2 were just delightful. When I was a kid, they were the greatest thing ever. As an adult, I watched those films. I'm like, they're not great, but they're still delightful. They're still delightful. Like if you just if the CGI was better, and the kid actors were better, this could work. The concept, anyways. But I digress. I still like Robert Rodriguez. He's done some really good work in the past. He knows how to do. He knows how to direct action. The action, even though the action in this one was a lot better, even though it still wasn't as great as you would hope it would be, because he still hasn't really topped that sequence from Mandalorian Season 2, which is weird because you would think he would just do better when he's got more time. But anyways, regardless of which, I enjoyed this episode. This is another solid one. 8 out of 10 for me. The entire show has so far been 8 out of 10s. Nothing special, nothing spectacular, nothing groundbreaking, but it's just fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to be in this world of Star Wars and get to learn new things. It's cool to see Boba building his crew up, and I'm curious of how they're gonna go with this whole Pike situation. How is that gonna play out? I can't wait to see next week's episode. Now, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.